Whether cheering on the Iowa Hawkeyes in the Big Ten rivalry or traveling across the state to follow the local high school volleyball team, a sports fan is an important element of the athletic scene. Even before the game begins, fans gather to tailgate, socialize, and create a sense of belonging before the game. But what breeds such loyalty to an athletic team? We went to well-known father-son sports broadcasters Bob and Rob Brooks to get their take on fan loyalty. Bob Brooks has covered sports for more than 60 years, covering everything from high school sports to Kirkwood Eagles.
This is a pretty good dynasty you've got out here.
And even the Olympics. Brooks thinks the fundamental appeal for fans has to do with drama of athletic competition.
It's the thrill of competing, the thrill of the stage, the thrill of being among friends and fans, and it's the experience of just athletics. That's what it is, pure and simple. It's just as raw as it can be, and that draws the people.
Well, sports is an interesting thing. I think a lot of people grow up wanting to play sports and getting involved that way, and then when you come to the reality that it's over, whether that be junior high, high school, or college, it all eventually ends, and I think you just stay tied to it. And I think a lot of it has to do with the relationships that are built with it and the fact that people just love sports. I think, if your mom or dad was involved in it and were fans, kids tend to follow suit. And it's just something that kind of, once it builds in you at a young age, it's really hard to get away. And it's something you can follow your entire life. There obviously are sports out there that you can do your whole life, but the football, the basketball, and the baseball eventually comes to an end, and you still like to follow it and stay in it as best you can.
There's no question if you show up on Alumni Weekend at the University of Iowa, you'll find loyalties that go back many years. You'll even spot former players like Levin Weiss, who was a linebacker under Hayden Fry.
Pretty close. I played linebacker. Yeah, long ago in the 70s. I'm a diehard fan, diehard alumni,
Another factor in the fan phenomenon is technology and being able to see any game at any time.
A lot of it has to do with television. The internet, I think, has just really exploded. And, where maybe 15, 20 years ago, even further back, you maybe only had 1 or 2 games on television per week. I remember growing up, and you could watch really one Major League Baseball game a week, and that was the game of the week on Saturday afternoon. So you kind of planned your week around making sure that you could see that game. Well, now you can watch 15, 20, sometimes even more games every single night. And people plan around college football, the NFL. I mean, baseball and basketball are on all the time. You can get on the internet. You can watch clips, blogs, all these websites that are dedicated to fan bases. I think that's really where the energy has really ramped up with fans. That's been huge.
Bob Brooks weighs in on that question and says fan behavior can vary based on everything from climate to professional teams nearby. But make no mistake, for the tailgating fan, there's no place like the Midwest.
Well, the fans change with the climate. When you're broadcasting games in Florida, Arizona, California, it's altogether different. They're probably more laid back. But the best tailgating in the country is in the Middle West on a cold Saturday. And that the fans, and it also depends on whether or not you're in a pro sport area, because the fans will change that way. They will, if you're not winning at the collegiate level and the pro team is doing pretty well, you're out of business. We're, of course, in Iowa not affected that way, but that has a lot to do with it. They're not as passionate as they would be, say, for Wisconsin football, Ohio football, Iowa football.
Whether it's cheering a section of fans or following your favorite team online, merchandising plays a role in building fan loyalty.
And It's interesting how merchandising has really evolved. I remember when I was growing up, I was a big Magic Johnson fan, Michael Jordan. You couldn't find a Magic Johnson jersey, couldn't find a Michael Jordan jersey. I had to go out and have them made. I mean, my dad would take me out and we'd go to a screen print shop and actually have the letters, Michigan State put on the shirt with the number and Johnson on the back. Well, my kids now, they've got every jersey known to man, and it's unbelievable, and it's such a huge part of the business aspect of sports, whether it be at the collegiate level or the high school level even.
I don't call it merchandise, I call it trinkets and trash is what it is. But it's marketing, and the fan who goes to the stand to back his or her favorite team or favorite individual wants to have something to identify with. And that's where the marketing has come in. That's another thing in the world of sport that wasn't prevalent before.
Even though sports fans will always have their favorite team, as seen in the shirts that they wear, they often have a favorite sport.
We like all Hawkeyes. We like anything Hawkeye. Yeah. But we really like football. Yeah, football and then wrestling is my second favorite because we come down to wrestling games.
I always thought, growing up, I thought there was nothing like a big-time basketball game. Mm-hmm. Saw a lot of games at the field house, seen games across the country. I just think when you get two outstanding college basketball teams, and maybe it's not quite like it was 15 or 20 years ago, but that to me growing up, I thought that was the greatest thing in the world. But right now I think you got to say football. I think you look at NFL football and big-time college football, those are probably the two best atmospheres by far going.
Besides having fun, make no mistake, these fans of Iowa teams spend a lot of money and have economic impact. In Cedar Rapids, the Convention and Visitors Bureau reports that the Iowa State girls volleyball tournament brings in $1.8 million each year. A 7-game football season at the University of Iowa brings in over $100 million to the local community. But for the fans in the stands, it's primarily about showing your colors.